Hello everybody out there and welcome back here with the future once again to another showcase and review. And it's been a few weeks, about 3 weeks since I did my last video, and that is because this whole crazy coronavirus thing hit. Actually, I was sick for like 3 weeks. I came down with the flu right after the whole, Kobe situation. I did those 2 videos after I took a little break for Kobe, and then I got, ill and came down with this flu for like, I don't know, it took me like 2 weeks to get over, and now here we are in the middle of this coronavirus, epidemic or whatever they're calling it. I don't even know what to believe or what to see next, what's going to be canceled. All I know is if they put me under quarantine, I have a lot of showcase and reviews to do, so they might be canceling everything else, but this channel will keep going. And so far, I work at a convenience store slash gas station. We have fuel and everything. So far, I've been able to keep my job going. I do feel for all the people out there who are struggling right now in this whole deal. Hopefully, they pass all the bills to help everybody out financially and everything. But I did want to send a shout out to everybody out there, and hopefully this entertains you a little bit if you're feeling down and out about this whole situation. But I'm actually glad to be back in it. I've been wanting to do this video for a while now. I picked this 80s and 90s wrestling action figure lot off of my friend Heath. I actually picked these up for $25 for the whole lot, and I think I came out, pretty good, especially because I got 3 classic LJN WWF Wrestling Superstars figures to add to the collection. I already have 4. You can see in the background behind me. I have the Piper, the San Martino, the Mean Gene Okerlund, and the Captain Lou Albano 8-inch Wrestling Superstars figures back there, but always looking for more, and I was able to add 3 more new ones to my collection that we'll take a look at. Also have some thumb wrestlers, one from the 80s and the others, a couple from the 90s, and I have some 3-inch WWF Jakks Pacific figures. A couple of the thumb wrestlers are actually Jakks Pacific as well, and then there's a generic one as well, a generic like Hogan. You'll see it when I get to the video, but showing these figures. So I also have some cards that I picked up in the lot as well, some WCW cards we'll flip through real quick, but it should be an interesting video checking out this 80s, 90s WWF wrestling action figure lot, because they're all WWF related figures, so I'm going to call it that. So now I want to thank everybody who's dropped any comments, left any feedback on my videos. Thanks for sticking around if you're still paying attention after the 3 weeks that I took off, almost a month. I really appreciate you sticking with me and supporting the channel. And yeah, guys, 13 years now I've been on the channel, since January 27th of 2020. It's been 13 years, and this has been the craziest year yet that I've lived through in my lifetime with all this stuff going on with this coronavirus. But I'm going to try to keep things going and keep positive here on the channel. And now let's check out this WWF 1980s and 1990s wrestling action figure lot that I picked up off my friend Heath, $25. Big thanks to him. And now let's check it out. Okay, so here you have the complete wrestling action figure lot that I have. The thing of cards here, a lot of baseball and basketball, but there were actually WCW cards is why I bought this. Actually, he threw these in for like an extra few bucks, so I paid $25 total for all this stuff. So it wasn't a bad deal. Got a lot of cool different, cards. But yeah, whole stack of WCW cards here that we'll flip through real quick. 3 LJNs, not in the greatest condition. Actually, the Paul Orndorff here is in pretty damn good condition, considering. I think these 3 alone were worth $25, even in the damaged condition. Here's the Hillbilly Jim from Series 1. And then there was an Andre, which we'll take a closer look at these. And then I got, some thumb wrestlers and some 3-inch that we'll take a look at. Also, this is a 1985 generic Hulk Hogan thumb wrestler. As you can see, it's made to look like Hogan, but it's not Hogan. Obviously, hence being generic, but you can see he has the back open for a thumb wrestler. I know it has a marking on its back, like, well, maybe not. I thought it did say, like, country or something on it, but actually I don't see right now any kind of markings, but kind of funny. It's from 1985, though, and like I said, it's a generic, and it's from China, too, because I looked these up, and I look on my notes here. I can't remember. I thought it did say China on it somewhere, but I'm guessing not now. Maybe I just looked it up, and that's where it was from. So that's why I was thinking that. But 1985, generic Hulk Hogan with red boots and blue tights. He never really wore that, and white knee pads. If it would have been all yellow, looked just like Hogan. But you can see like the goatee there. The Fu Manchu or whatever is not. It's there, but it's like not prominent. Like I don't know if that was more yellow in the past, but obviously the hair and the headband, that's supposed to be Hogan. And then I have two 1997 thumb wrestlers here from Jack's Pacific, and you can see we have HBK here, and the funniest looking faces on these guys as well. But look at that face on the Heartbreak Kid. Gotta love it. And you can see he has like his tiger stripe Heartbreak tights. And like his classic boots that he wore. Almost like the Alpine Star style. And the gloves there. Elbow pads, you can see there is where you place your thumb. Right in the back. So you're able to manipulate around. I don't know if anybody knows about thumb wrestlers. Actually, there was a bunch made by LJN as well. And that's what this 1985 one is definitely a knockoff of, is the LJN style. But this HBK, I do respect it being, Jack's Pacific run at thumb wrestlers. And then here's the man himself to add to the old Stone Cold collection that I have going. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he's got his old black Hollywood Bond star boots on there. He used to have the star on the side. Kind of a nod to his Hollywood Blonde days. He actually wore the white boots that he wore with the black star. I don't know if he wore black with white, but I know he wore white with black, which were his actual Hollywood Blonde boots till they blew out on him or whatever, or wore out on him. But Stone Cold, it's that same face almost that they used in all of his, figures, but I think from the side it looks a little different. Looks like he's got a little red there on his face that I could probably get off. But these guys were not, greatly sculpted. This is way, before you had your real scan technology and whatnot, so you're not going to get the greatest likeness, but nonetheless, that's Stone Cold, and that's Shawn Michaels, and the generic Hulk Hogan here, so you can have a big thumb wrestler war there with these three. I didn't have any thumb wrestlers in the collection from Jack's Pacific or anybody else, so I'm glad that I got these three in the lot. So next we'll check out these LJN. And of course, this is the first ever Andre. First, when he came to the WWF, he had the longer hair. And you can see somebody actually, busted him open on his forehead, and his face has that pink in it because I could not get off. Even though I did give him the old classic fig bath, I could not get the pink to come all the way out of his face. You can see a lot of like pokes, marks, and dents in his skin as well. Like I said, he's pretty wore out, but just to have him in the collection at least as a placeholder, if I ever got another one, I would replace it. But you can see there, 1984, this is a Series 1, Titan Sports, number 3 on his back. Everyone has a unique number, and there are slight variations in the LJNs as too. But I guess it's an okay likeness of Andre. I like it because it was his first, figure that he ever came out with. For WWF anyway. So you gotta love Andre, the Eighth Wonder of the World there. Next, with another Series 1, it's Hillbilly Jim. You can see he's really banged up. These things were just, a hard rubber. Actually, it was a more flexible rubber that you could bend good at the, but hard as well. Like, you could run these things over with a truck and it would still be alright, I think. But you have your, on the back there, once again, since he was a Series 1 figure, he's got his 1984 LJN Limited, Titan Sports on the back there of his shirt. Of course, the blue overalls, which are just destroyed here. Paint just wore off them, but you can see he's totally skin colored, and they just painted it in. So people do like to get these and touch them up. Some people don't mind it, and some people do. I say it decreases the value touching them up, though. So Hillbilly Jim in the collection now. Cool to have. And then the Paul Orndorff, Mr. Wonderful, and I think this is a pretty good one. Out of the three, this is definitely the one in the best shape. He does miss some on his ass here. Excuse me. 1985 Titan Sports Incorporated, LJN. He's got a B on the back of him. What's he got on him? He's got a 1 on him. So yeah, everyone's unique with the different numbers. I think there may be a variation of Hillbilly Jim, but I'm not sure. There may be variations of all these guys, but I'm not, some of the changes are so subtle and stuff like that that they don't really count as, like, a variant. They more count as, like, a running change or whatever, but, because they're so subtle. But yeah, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, look at the face on him there. The nose just crushed, but he had that, kind of a face on him. Real ripped. He's like one of the most ripped figures, too. I think they had him more ripped than the Ultimate Warrior later on that they made of the LJNs. But I respect these figures and love them, and I can't wait to get them over there and display them next to the other 4 that I already have. And I think I've already showed them, but there's Captain Lou, Mean Gene, Roddy Piper, and Bruno. And I have space cleared out here to put behind the E-Man here, Andre and company. Pretty cool there, all different kinds of figures from different lines. And now let's take a look at well, first of all, I got these stands, and they're always good to have because I have some of the Jakks Pacific figures. If I ever have display, I can use these for display. These are the original silver and black stands, which I like the best, actually, the block classic logo. I got 3 of these in the lot. Very cool. Bring back a lot of memories having those 3. But also, they started the scratch logo later on. I already have 1 of these, so now I have 2 of the scratch logo stands. Very cool. I got one of these with Paul White figure that I did a review on too. So I have 4 more stands now there for my Jakks Pacific figures, the Bone Crunchers. So you gotta love that. A little bonus in there, I thought. Also, a little bonus here. It's Jim Cornette's Jakks Pacific tennis racket. I believe this is from his Bone Cruncher, but I may be wrong. I don't think they made any other ones but that Manager series in the Bone Crunchers, but I don't remember it being a green, swoosh under the WWF logo, but wow. I always thought maybe that was like a variant, but is there a date on this thing? It just says China on the back. But definitely that's Cornette's tennis racket. I don't know if it was used in something else or not, but these are all, 97 and so, but they do have Bone Cruncher stands over here, so if I ever get the Jim Cornette figure without a tennis racket, I have one now. So that was very cool. These are the 3-inch figures that came with the action ring sets that they made in 97. Look at this. This is Gold Dust. He actually has a removable wig here. Pop off, and underneath he has his classic dyed bleach blonde hair. And this is in his classic Gold Dust attire, like his debut attire. I think this is really awesome. These guys are real small, because even compared to the smaller, look how small they are compared to the thumb wrestlers, which are small. And you have your 8-inch, LJNs here. Look how small they are. So that just gives you a good size comparison. These guys are tiny. But very cool. I remember these things coming out. I didn't have any back when these came out, but I remember them being in stores and whatnot, but we didn't want to get into everything. We were into the Bone Crunchers, so I don't think that we had any of these. Maybe wrong. Maybe my brother had a few of them, but I just don't remember. And now, I like how they gave Goldie here, his classic wig too, to put on him for display. Pretty sweet. Gold Dust, aka Dustin Rhodes, who is still going strong today in AEW. It's crazy. This is a 1997 figure, and he's still going strong in 2020. So, very cool. Dustin Rhodes, aka Gold Dust there. And we have also Ahmed Johnson, who at one point was very popular and I thought was on his way to being a world heavyweight champion, but it just didn't pan out for him. He got injured and stuff, and I just don't think he had the mic skills and whatnot. But I thought they were going to go with him there for a minute, Had a big title match against The Undertaker and stuff. Got injured, like I said. He was in the Nation of Domination before he got injured. Or when he got injured, I believe. And just never really bounced back. But there he is, Ahmed Johnson. The Pearl River Powerhouse. Pearl River Plunge was his move. So there next to Gold Dust. And then next you have, speaking of Nation of Domination, you had the leader of the nation here, Farouk, a.k.a. Ron Simmons. And I actually have his Slammers figure. And this looks pretty much identical to it. Like I said, Jakks Pacific created these as well. I guess they had the little action places. I actually had some of the action stairs. They didn't get the ring with it, but the action ring playset, the stairs that would launch these guys, I should have kept some out. But nonetheless, there's Farouk in all his glory in his nation attire. You gotta love that. They didn't make it to where you could put the salute up, though. But nonetheless, little Ron Simmons figure, pretty cool. And two more. We have, of course, you had to have the Deranged Mankind. And this was my favorite Mankind. I think I've said that in past videos, but his original incarnation was my favorite of Mankind. I didn't like, the Mr. Sacco Mankind later on was a little bit over the top for me, a little bit too goofy, but this original Mankind, he had a lot of depth to him and was pretty creepy and bizarre. I loved his feuds with like the Undertaker back then, the Boiler Room Brawl and whatnot. But yeah, there he is, Mankind himself. Ended up becoming a WWF champion in his other incarnation when he was wearing the suit and tie and whatnot. Favorite Mankind. And then last but not least, it's the best there is, the best there ever was, and the best there ever will be. He was currently on the latest edition of Stone Cold's Broken Skull Sessions on the WWE Network. It's Bret the Hitman Hart. And this is cool. I have the Hitman's Hasbro figure, but my brother has the actual Bone Cruncher that we had back when we collected. He has all the Bone Crunchers that we have of the Jakks, but this is a little 3-inch Bret the Hitman Hart. This is also my mother's favorite wrestler, so he always holds a little spot in my heart because of that too, but he was always one of my favorite wrestlers. If I ever wrestled, I remember back then I wanted to throw punches and work like Bret the Hitman Hart. I just thought he was awesome in ring, and that's just who I wanted to emulate. And I'd emulate him all the time when we'd wrestle, do the backyard wrestling and whatnot. But loved Bret the Hitman Hart. Loved Stone Cold Steve Austin. Always been a huge wrestling fan, like I said. And yeah, I'm glad that I scratched the old itch, as the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast would say there. Cardona and, well, Hawkins and Ryder. But I love that, by the way. If you haven't listened to the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast, I suggest you do. Brian Myers. That is Kurt Hawkins. I couldn't think of it off the top of my head, but Brian Myers and Matt Cardona, aka Zack Ryder, the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. But yeah, I'm so glad to get a hold of all these figures. And here is the WCW cards I said I was going to flip through, actually. So before we end here, it's not going to be easy to do because I'm holding the camera in one hand, but let's kind of fly through these cards. There were some made in green, because it was all like the announcers. You got Jim Ross, Missy Hyatt, whatnot. Then your tag teams were in red there. Steiner Brothers, Freebird, Southern Boys, Doom. And then you had your single wrestlers, your El Gigante, Arn Anderson. There he is. That's one of my favorite podcasts too, is Arn Anderson's podcast that he has. I suggest checking that out as well. El Gigante, a.k.a. Giant Gonzalez. There he is. Flying Brian Pillman. Couple of him. Dirty Dutch Mantel, a.k.a. Zeb Coulter. I'm dropping cards now. 3 Dirty Dutches, but I got quite a few of the cards here. I had all these as a kid. I remember I had like the entire set because I bought so many. But very cool here, Ric Flair, the Nature Boy, Ricky Morton, Mr. Wall Street, Terry Taylor. But very cool, the old school WCW. Who made these? What's that say? Impel, 1991 Impel WCW. But there's the backs of it. You got some like stats on them and whatnot. A loose cannon flying Brian Pillman. It's not the size of the dog in the fight that matters, but the size of the fight in the dog. But yeah, I'm glad to have this whole lot that I picked up. And till next time, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment down below. Give me a like if you like what you saw. Drop a comment on anything you like here. And anything you know about these, any facts or whatnot, I always like to hear that. I'm always up to talk about some wrestling figures and whatnot. But yeah, guys, do all that I just mentioned. And sorry it's been so long, but I hope to do videos more often. And until next time, guys, thanks for watching. And as always, keep collecting. And stay away from that coronavirus. And as always, peace out.